Hi, welcome back. This is Lori Jimenez, your host. Thank you for tuning in today to listen to this short episode. This is a special and unique episode because it was created with the intention to clearly share what Relentless Minds stands for and what you become a part of by being a listener of this podcast every week. 9 months ago, the Relentless Minds podcast was created with a sole mission to inspire people to create the change they desire to see in their own lives by sharing the examples of individuals who had achieved to do the same thing through acts of strength and resilience. These are all people who share a common commitment, which is that they refuse to accept their current circumstances for what they are. And they refuse to listen to society when they are told that nothing can be done about unjust matters. And instead, they choose to fight. They choose to dream and to persist. And through that tenacity, they are able to witness the fruits of their efforts and experience a better life. It has been a journey these last few months as I went on a search to find these incredible stories of strength and resilience, first nationwide, and now I am on a search for those stories worldwide. And what I have come to realize and value is that our fight for change as a people has so many faces, and there is not one battle that is more important than another. These dreams are all important, and they all matter. However, the sad truth is that we are alarmingly unaware of a lot of these issues that people are facing in our own communities and around the world. And that is why it has become my mission to present the many faces of change that people everywhere are fighting for in an effort to create awareness, sympathy, and most importantly, community. Because what we all have in common is a desire for change, and that is what unites us. So what we are doing at Relentless Minds in order to create awareness and inspiration is that we have created 2 new series of stories that are called the Unbroken series and the Purposeful series. I am very excited about these new series because they express the 2 separate battles for change that people strive to create, and that is 1, within ourselves, and 2, outside of ourselves. The Unbroken series is all about sharing the stories of individuals that fought or are fighting to create positive change in their personal lives and refuse to accept their undesirable life circumstances. These are people that found themselves in life situations that caused them a lot of pain and sadness, and instead of accepting their fate, they chose to create their own destiny. In these episodes, you will learn about those struggles and the reasons why these individuals decided to fight for what they believed in instead of continuing life as it was. And the interesting thing is that many times you'll see that a battle that began within ended up inspiring a battle bigger than themselves. That is, a battle to see this change in their community for others to benefit from as well. Which brings us into the next series, which is the Purposeful series. The Purposeful series is all about sharing stories of individuals that are fighting to create positive change in their communities and in the world, that refuse to allow past experiences or current opposition to overpower their efforts. That opposition can come from societal structures, their local communities, and even religious norms. This is where you will learn of movement leaders and activists that are fighting for a bigger cause by showing up in their communities as a sounding board for issues that need to be resolved. They are relentless and fearless, and you'll get to learn what it is that drives them to fight for their cause, how it is affecting people in their communities and around the world, and most importantly, why we should care. Stories belonging in either one of these series will be released weekly to empower and inspire all of you. All of this makes me so excited because I recognize that this is just the beginning. The ultimate vision with this podcast is to create a strong movement and community of relentless individuals who are not only inspired, but who are also hungry for change and ready to take action to fight for their own dreams and to also support their fellow neighbor in their efforts to live a better life as well. Ultimately, I hope that this can begin a progression towards better conditions for us, but to also leave the world a slightly better place for the generations that are to come. To finish off this episode, I want to first and foremost thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to this episode and for being part of this community. The truth is that none of this means anything if there weren't individuals like you who believe in our mission and support our efforts. You are the reason that our vision is possible, and for that I am eternally grateful. If the message you heard over the last few minutes resonated with you and you believe in what we are trying to create, the way that you can help us reach more people is by sharing this podcast with your friends and loved ones. Send this podcast to anyone you feel might benefit from the stories of remarkable strength and a commitment to creating a better life. I invite you to be a part of this movement by subscribing to this podcast on iTunes and Spotify, and by following our journey online. You can find the Relentless Minds accounts on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for listening. Join us next week for a new story from the series Unbroken.